In just 2 months, Occupy Wall Street had transformed the public discourse in America, challenging people to not only demand change, but to live it.
Here, the video you're seeing now is the police presence as they rolled into UCLA. Of course, they let the violent pro-Israel mob continue to attack people for a long, long time before any police arrived to actually stop that violence. I want to bring in now to talk about this and a bunch of things to do with the ongoing occupations, the protests, the vibrant dissent that is rippling across this country, even though, of course, the state and our ruling elite want to stop all of this dissent. And hell, why not even ban the social media platforms that allow you to become informed enough to dissent? To talk about this, I want to bring in Jay Ponte, who old friend of mine. He's an organizer, an author. He was pivotal in Occupy Wall Street in LA, Standing Rock, is co-creator of the bank hashtag bank exit, fossil fuel divestment campaign, and so much more. And he has a new book called Be the Revolution. Welcome, Jay.
Leecamp. What's up, brother?
Hey, Jay, how you doing?
Oh, good. Just watching that footage. Oh, it takes me back.
Does it take you back? Take you back to the Occupy days?
Oh, I just get misty for those jack boots.
Do you see similar tactics being used? I don't know if you've been to the UCLA encampment, although it seems like it was just destroyed. This is LA Times saying more than 130 arrested as police dismantled the entire camp and basically threw everything away. Do you see a lot of similarity in the police tactics?
Yeah, I'm not in LA anymore, so it's tougher.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's a tougher commute. But yeah, this is what they do. And you do mention the word radicalize. In the book, I talk about reclaiming that word because radical comes from the Latin word, which means root. So to be a radical just means to get to the root of the issues. So, I mean, that's something they've used. They weaponize the language against us, to make it socially unacceptable. But yeah, this is what they do. Whenever you have any kind of dissent, they will. And it sounds like in this case, the state tends to learn. The corporate state tends to learn from their mistakes. So they didn't let it go on for longer. But hopefully it will continue. Hopefully these students will continue to find other tactics and regroup.
Yeah, I mean, tactics have to change and grow. This is before the cops tore everything down, but this is after the brutality of the pro-Israel mob. Yeah. The video I'm showing here. It seems at least a few thousand people showed up. So basically everything grew much larger after the right-wing Zionist attack happened on the UCLA encampment. Of course, was one of many encampments. We saw the brutal police forces attacking the Columbia encampment and occupation. And they did that on the 56th anniversary of when the Columbia had brutally evicted and beaten and arrested their own students back in 1968.
Oh, it's just got a nice symmetry to it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It just has such a nice symmetry. Yeah, I was watching the live stream last night, the Solidarity, just beautiful. But I hope, I hope people do pick up this book so they learn that Occupy never, the idea that Occupy failed is ridiculous because for us, it never ended. And the book also shows how Occupy organizers learned that we needed a long-term strategy, and not everybody, but there was a contingent of people who watched a bunch of fascist, libertarian, and right-wing Tea Party people get elected to Congress. That was fun. So they decided that they needed to have also an electoral strategy, people like myself as well. And pushed Bernie Sanders to run. And a lot of people don't know that Bernie Sanders was a tactic. So the book isn't about Bernie Sanders. It's about the movement, which was Occupy organizers who activated the Occupy network to push Bernie to run. And then that continued on to all the way to this day.
Yeah, what you're referring to in the book is also in the subtitle, How Occupy Wall Street and the Bernie Sanders Movement Reshaped American Politics. And I was a big Bernie supporter in 2016, even though I knew that he would never be allowed to be president. I felt that it had a big impact on waking people up and showing to them the holes in the system. So many people saw Bernie Sanders in 2016 get so close to winning the primary, and they saw how rigged everything got. You had your hashtag bank exit. The one I created was exit poll gate that went viral for a while. And they saw how the system was just breathtakingly rigged against anyone who was even, I mean, Bernie Sanders is not even like that far left.
He's a centrist in Europe.
I know. Well, parts of Europe. Yeah.
Right.
He would be considered a centrist in certain areas, especially
Yeah,
Latin America.
Even the like right-wing
countries.
fascists in Sweden are like, yeah, we want healthcare. You know
Yeah,
I mean?
I know. Just giving people healthcare is far right-wing fascists also agree with that. But they saw how aggressively it was rigged against him in so many different ways. And it wakes people up to so many things that as to how this system, how this imperial system works, how the two-party system is just so aggressively entrenched. And of course, it's actually one party. And Bernie Sanders, despite running as a Democrat, was outside of that one party.
Yeah, and really challenged. And the book does talk about it's really important that we separate the movement from the candidate, because one of the core premises is that we have been so conditioned by capitalism to approach organizing and activism as consumers and electoral politics. Candidates are tactics. We look at Canada as a tactic, not as someone like, not that someone we like or don't like. It's irrelevant. It is absolutely irrelevant. Either you can leverage your numbers to push them to run, or push an issue to shift the Overton window on an issue. And that's one of the things that Bernie's campaign was amazing for, is it was a lightning rod for some of the greatest activists all over the country. And then it inspired a whole new generation of activists who continue to organize.